if you have to understand the very fact that your thinking creates thoughts and your thinking comes from your feelings and desires. So if you have the right desire, if you have the right views, right intent, then if the desires are right, then the thinking will be right, then the thoughts will be right. Then when the thoughts are right, then your actions will be right. But man is unconscious most of the time what kind of thoughts he is radiating. So fundamentally, the most important point I want to tell you is you have to be aware of your feelings and desires. Again, it is linked to the previous topic which we discussed in the last 2 days. You have to be very aware of your feelings and desires, because that leads to thoughts. And once you release a thought, then you are stuck in that loop. And basically, a thought is nothing but it's an energy. Your thought is energy which comes from your own consciousness. And this thought remains, if this thought is not balanced, if this thought is not fulfilled, then it remains in the mental plane. So that means even after death, it follows you. It follows you many, many incarnations until the thought is completely balanced. And these thoughts remain in our aura, in our auric field. The moment you release the thought, it remains in your auric field. And we have to understand, with the release of the thought, it is unbalanced. Every thought, when it is released, it is fundamentally unbalanced. And to balance the thought, you have to do your duty willingly, gladly, and without any expectations, fear, and hope, and basically any attachment to the result. This is what the karma yoga, the karma yoga is all about: doing the duty, the dharma, without any expectations of the results, and also without any fear and without any attachments to the results. And you have to do it willingly, happily, gladly. So when you're able to do that, then the thought becomes a balanced thought. Whatever the thought you release, it has to follow with the duty. Then only the thought becomes balanced. So this is how the flow is. First, it is your desires and feelings, and that leads to your thinking, and the thinking leads to your thought. And primarily, whatever the thought it is released is fundamentally is unbalanced. And then after you do the duty willingly, so you have to underline the word willingly. So when you do the duty willingly, then the thought is balanced. When the thought is balanced, then you are free from the desire. But if you don't do the duty willingly, then what happens? Then the thought is never balanced. Then the desire remains. And that when the desire remains, then you are stuck in that loop of life and death. So that means you'll be taking many more lifetimes to keep, you are stuck in the desire. See, you might have a desire. You have to fundamentally understand. We all have many, many desires. But the most fundamental desire of a human is the desire to know the truth, is a desire for the evolution. But man gets stuck from the desires, from the nature, from the outside, from the senses. Through the senses, he gets tricked. And he gets into the loop of the desires because he doesn't perform whatever the duty willingly. He doesn't perform the duty. He doesn't do the dharma. So duty, in other words, means dharma. So when he doesn't do the dharma, then he's stuck in the desires. Then he is not liberated from the desires. So when he's not liberated from the desires, then he's not liberated from the life and death. That means there is no moksha, there is no salvation. So he's bonded, man is bonded to his own desires. So basically you have to understand that the dharma we have, the duty we have, that is the result of our own thought. Because we released a thought and there is a certain duty related to that thought, and that thought is our own thought which came because of our own desires. So we have to do that duty. So it is a result of one's own desire. And what is dharma? What is duty? Duty is there is no choice. You have to do it. You owe it. You owe certain things, either to yourself or to others. That is very fundamentally the definition of what the duty is, the dharma is. And let me give you some examples so that you understand. So let us say that you have a desire to have an ice cream. Okay. So because of the desire, you start thinking about ice cream. You start thinking how nice it will be to have an ice cream in a hot summer afternoon. So then you release a thought. And for example, you imagine that, you happily go, even though it's a hot sun in the afternoon, but you have the desire to eat the ice cream. So you happily go to the ice cream shop and the ice cream person says, oh, it is 500 rupees. Then you say, okay, that's fine. I wanted to feel like eating that strawberry. So I want to eat that strawberry. So then you eat the ice cream. So finished, you have a desire to eat the ice cream. You went and you finished eating the ice cream. Then the thought is balanced. So then the craving for the ice cream is no more. Now imagine another situation where you have a thought of eating ice cream and then you complain about it. Oh, it's too hot. I cannot go out now. Or you say, or while walking or while cycling, you say, how come there is so much pollution? How come there is so much dust? And why am I put in this situation? Then you go to the ice cream shop and the person says, oh, it's 500 rupees. And you say, what? 500 rupees? Kyun itna paisa hai? There are cheaper ice creams and you are just, taking advantage of it and you are fighting with that ice cream person. And you say, nahin, main kharid raha hu. It's too much. Jyada paisa hai. And then you return back. So what happens? That desire to eat the ice cream is haunting you again. So this is how people get into food cravings, because they release so many thoughts. They release so many thoughts unconsciously, and these thoughts come and trouble them. And these kind of people, when they come, just an example, when they come to the retreat, their desire is to go for a retreat and do meditation and get enlightenment. And they will go and sit and do meditation and they will have the dream of eating an ice cream. So in their meditation journey, the ice cream dream comes. And then their whole focus, they cannot see the whole why the retreat has been designed in such a way. They complain, oh, in the dinner, it would have been good if they keep an ice cream. At least thoda sweet bhi, dessert bhi, thoda acha hota hai. So their entire attention and focus goes on to their desire for the food and the cravings. So this is how the man gets stuck. This is just a simple example. And this desire keeps complicating, and don't know these desires are coming from past lives. If the desires are coming from the past lives, then it turns out to be addiction and cravings. So we have to be very, very aware and conscious of what kind of desires we are having. And when you have a certain desire, you have to do your duty. You have to work hard for it. You have to earn it and fulfill that, or understand that is not that. I let go of that desire. My main desire is something else. So you consciously can let go of it. To let go of it consciously, you need a lot of awareness. You need a lot of meditation. So I'm just giving an example. I will give more examples to understand. As I said, it is a very deep topic. It is a very intense topic about the duties, the dharma, the desires, the liberation, enlightenment. There is many layers we have to understand. So I'll give you more examples. So don't worry about it, but just be like a sponge, absorbing as much as you can. So we can say this example in another way. Suppose you started doing meditation. You are a beginner of meditation. You started doing meditation and you have seen the benefits of meditation. And you are doing your meditation, but in your family members, your husband or your wife or your children, they don't like it. They don't want you to do it. So they discourage you. They criticize you. They trouble you. So what you do? Doing meditation is your swadharma. So how should you do your swadharma? You do your swadharma fearlessly, come what may, come what may, I will do my Swadharma. I will finish all the household things. I will take care of my family, but I will not fear anybody. I will still sit and do the meditation. Whatever might happen, let it happen. As long as I am doing my duty fearlessly, then I'm in the right path. That should be the mindset. And then the attitude is don't expect any outcome. Don't expect any outcome of the meditation. Don't expect that your family members will cooperate with you. Don't have any attachments that if I do the meditation, I might be disappointing my family members. No expectations, no attachments, no attachment to the results. I am simply doing my Swadharma. That's it. So this is another example how you should do your duty. Let's say another example. So let's imagine there's a name Sarah and she's 20 years old and she is a little overweight all her life and she has a desire to lose the weight and she wants to look attractive, feel attractive. So that's an example. So her motivation, her intention is I want to lose weight to look attractive. So what she does, then the duty comes. So that is the desire. So the desire is to lose weight and look attractive. So just by sitting at home like a couch potato and having the desire, nothing happens. But you should do your duty. You should take action. You should do your dharma. Duty means dharma. So what she does, she practices healthy eating habits and no eating, no snacking in between the meals and regular exercises. So these are the duties. These are the dharma she has to do, right? And she performs her duty. Just imagine, this is an example. She performs her duty. Again, what is the duty? Duty is to practice a healthy eating habits and no snacks in between the meals and regular exercise. That is the duty. So she's performing the duty, but she has so much, she's doing the duty unwillingly, right? She's not doing it out of joy. She's just simply doing it with the hope that she will lose weight. And with that, when she loses weight, she thinks she might look attractive. So that means she's not doing the duty willingly. So what happens? Her attachment to the results, she's attached to the results that she will become slim and she'll become beautiful. So she is so much focused on the results of it and her thoughts become unbalanced. So that means her desire is still there and she remains still unfulfilled. And just take another scenario where she does her own duties willingly, gladly, and without any expectations, without any hope. She just, in the process, she just starts enjoying that. Okay, I like to go for a morning walk. It feels good to me in my body when I'm eating fruits. I'm feeling good in my body. I'm enjoying my nature walks. I'm enjoying the fresh air. And she's not attached to what she's doing, but she's just simply doing her duty and enjoying that process without any expectations and without any result-oriented hope. Then she does her best to stick to the diet and she does it out of joy and there is absolutely no attachment to the result. So then what happens? Her desire from within automatically gets freed up because the desire is no more there because she's already happy. Then she says, okay, I'm already happy. I'm doing the things which makes me happy. So I don't need to look slim. I'm just happy with my body the way I am. I'm actually perfect. My body is perfect. So I don't need to do anything. So there comes a very natural acceptance of her own body. She starts loving her body. And with that, she lets go of her desire to be slim. So she's free from that. So her thought is balanced and she is no more body conscious. And in fact, she starts enjoying the way she looks. So she realizes the truth that the happiness is nothing to do with the body. Happiness is your state of mind. So this is another example to just to say how you should not be attached to your duties without any attachment, without any expectations. When you do it, then you are liberated from it. Or else those thoughts are unbalanced and it keeps repeating your whole life and lifetimes after lifetimes, and you're stuck in that. Take another example. So there's a person and he wants to be a good son, right? So his idea is he wants to be a good son. So that is his thought. He wants to get an acknowledgement that he is a very good son from his parents. And his father suffered a stroke, and his mother is having dementia problems. That means both their parents are not doing well mentally, physically. So he wants to, but his desire is he wants to be a good son. So his duty, his dharma, is to take care of his aging parents physically, emotionally, financially, psychologically, and to be there for them, to support them. So that is his duty as a son. But he wants to be a good son. So that was his desire. So if he performs his duties with that kind of an expectations that he wants to be recognized as a good son, so then what he does, every time he performs the duty, he waits for some acknowledgement from his parents. He waits for some appreciation. And there is a kind of, a complaint that I have done so much for you, I'm taking care of you, but you never acknowledge me. Or there is the fear from the relatives, oh, if I don't take care of my parents, then my relatives might say I'm not a good son, or the society will call me as I'm not a good son. So there is a kind of a fear and guilt. And with that attitude, he's performing his duties, then naturally he will be in a state where he is attached to the results of what the people are saying, and whether the parents are acknowledging him, because he has this attachment, I want to be a good son, or he's expecting some inheritance, saying, okay, if I do this duties, then I can get some inheritance. He's having some expectations. So then his thought is never fulfilled. He will never feel that he's a good son, because all the time he's looking for something. All the time, either he is doing out of guilt, or he is doing out of fear, or he is doing out of some expectations of some acknowledgement. So then that thought becomes unbalanced thought. So then that haunts him for lifetimes together. Or just say a scenario where he's simply willingly and gladly he's doing it. He's just taking care of his parents because he feels that is his dharma, that is his duty. So he takes care of his parents without any expectations, anything in return. He simply does it for his own joy, and there is no fear or there is no blame. He do whatever he can do. He doesn't overdo it to praise somebody, to satisfy somebody, to get the acknowledgement, to have the praise from somebody, to get the acknowledgement from somebody. He doesn't overdo it. He does it only whatever he can do. For example, he is going to job and he's coming back from job, and he has only 2-3 hours to spend from the parents. He spends only 2-3 hours from this. What he can do, he do his best with complete joy. Then naturally, while he's doing that duty, he feels a joy that it is my opportunity, that I'm taking care of my parents. When I'm a small boy, my parents have taken care of me. Now it is my turn. So the whole process of he doing his dharma towards his parents, he will do it with joy, without thinking anything, whether my parents will think bad about me, whether my relatives will think bad about me. I'm not able to spend the whole day with my parents. I'm not able to give them what they want, but I'm just able to give what I want, what I can. So with that detachment from that result, he's free from that, because he doesn't have the expectation to have the name that I'm a good son. So he's free from that desire. And he no longer feels that he must be a good son to do certain things. He simply accepts his situation. Whatever is the current situation, he accepts it. And whatever he can do, he do it with joy. So with that, he's liberated from that thought. So he is liberated from that karmic bondage also. Why did he attract that kind of a life challenge where he has parents who are not healthy, and he has been put into that situation? Because he released a thought many lifetimes ago that he wants to be a good son. So that thought was in his mental body lifetimes after lifetimes. And in this lifetime, it has manifested in this way. So once you are doing your dharma the right way, once you do the duty, the dharma in the right way, then you are liberated from that very seed of the karma. So this is an example of how it's an example of Jesus Christ to say that, most of the times people are attached to their family members. When you're performing the duty as a mother, as a father, as a son, as a daughter, when we are doing our duties, we get attached and we think it is my father, it is my mother. And with that attachment, what happens? The attachment leads to more bondage, more suffering, and it becomes a karmic chain. So Jesus Christ example is like, he clearly said that my father is in my heaven. Because one day Jesus Christ was giving a lecture. He was a very small boy. He was giving a lecture. I think he's a 13 years old boy. He was giving a lecture to his friends, standing on a big rock. So then one of his friends came and said, hey, Ishwa, your mother is calling. And immediately Jesus turned to him and said, who is my mother? Who is my father? My father is in the heaven. I'm a soul. I'm not the body. So this is the words spoken by Jesus Christ. In reality, we are all souls. And all these relationships we have is just a maya, an illusion. So when you understand that all the relationships we have is just the drama we are playing it. So you don't need to get attached to those relationships. Just do your dharma, play the role perfectly, but no attachment is necessary. So when you are able to let go of that attachment, then you are able to liberate yourself and just do your dharma as a pure witness. And when you are doing your dharma as a witness, you get liberated. So while we are doing our dharma, we might experience pain, sorrow, or some kind of a despair, or we might experience pleasure, well-being, serenity, whatever might be the experience we go through when we are doing our dharma. Just be detached and always focus on what is the learning I'm going through in this process. Because through our dharma, not only we get liberated, before we get liberated, we learn the most important lesson. So our focus should be on learning the lessons. The more you are able to be a witness without any judgments, without any attachments, whatever the dharma you are doing, whatever the experience you are going through, if you are able to witness it without attachment, then there is a possibility you will learn a lot of lessons from it. And the very purpose and the very idea, the word dharma means it is not like somebody is imposing on you that you have to do it. You are doing it for your own evolution. You are doing it for your own learning process. You are doing it for your own liberation. So whenever you hear the word dharma, so you understand that is for your growth, that is for your learning, that is for your own liberation. Even though the actions you are doing might be helping others or supporting others, but it is still you are doing it for you and yourself. So generally, man or woman creates a lot and lot of thoughts because of his so much of desires, unconscious thoughts, unconscious desires. So however, is he prepared to do the duty? Everybody wants to buy a house, everybody wants to build a beautiful house, but how many of you are willing to do the duty of going to work and earning the money? It's a lifetime effort to build a house. We desire a house, but are we ready to do the duty? Are we ready to face the consequences? An example, many people say, okay, I want to build a pyramid. Okay, you have a desire to build a pyramid. You can say, yes, I want to build a pyramid for the service of the people. Okay, that is, you want to manifest a pyramid, you want to build a pyramid, but are you ready to face the consequences? Are you ready to face your dharma? Are you ready to do your dharma? Because not only once you build the pyramid, for building the pyramid, you have to gather a lot of people, engineers, workers, money, donations. And after that, it is a lifetime commitment to maintain it, to feed the people, to teach meditation to whoever comes to that meditation center, pyramid. You have to teach them, you have to welcome them, you have to take care of them, you have to feed them. Are you ready to do that duty? Are you prepared to do that duty? Are you prepared to do that dharma? So many times unconsciously we radiate a lot of thoughts, we radiate a lot of, we have a lot of desires and we radiate a lot of thoughts. But these thoughts becomes a bondage in our life because we are not prepared to do our duty, because we fail to understand the consequences. So that's why it is very important. People who go behind manifestation, they have to be very, very careful. Yes, you can manifest what you want, but are you willing to face the consequences? So that's why meditation becomes very, very important. The more you meditate, the more the awareness increases. The more the awareness increases, your focus will be on the desires, what is needed the most for you at that moment. So then you will not waste your time, energy, lifetimes. Lifetimes are getting wasted for these desires. So you will not waste time and energy, and you will focus on what is really your swadharma and what is needed for your own evolution, what is needed for your own liberation, what is needed for your own mukti, salvation, and what is needed for your own brahmananda. So you will focus on enlightenment process. And only through meditation, you increase your awareness. And only through the awareness, there is a clarity. And only through clarity, you are able to see clearly what is your desires, what is your thoughts, and what are the consequences, and what are the actions, what is the duty you have to do. So with the complete understanding and your ability to see the bigger picture, you save yourself, you help yourself from this eternal chain of birth and death.